I'm not going to go that far. Um, I might go for a couple thousand, but that would be a pretty massive game, I think. Um, but then it actually had like add galaxy here, add galaxy there, so you could actually have different types of galaxies. A spiral there, a they had a I don't what they call it, a dumbbell galaxy that had like two clusters connected with a thin rim, and so that's kind of cool. Um, but and actually, and as far as strategy goes, that's really cool because then you know, you're on one side, the other guy's on the other side, and you have a chance to build up and then defend along that narrow pathway. So
I like that.
that's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, there's just a lot of different ways to handle it. So yeah, I mean, it can be very massive. I don't know how much resources it's going to take up, so we'll just have to experiment with it and see. So yeah, we killed the enemy and his gate, and now it's telling us to use FTL. So use all methods of FTL travel is limited by the availability of FTL energy. And that's this. Now it's giving us our first bit of one of the resources. This top bar is going to populate with all sorts of different resources. So FTL energy is one of them. Then there's actually just plain old energy. There's obviously money. I forget what's right here. We have our research over here. We got different things that we're earning as we go that'll apply to different things that we're gonna do. So, anyways, we have enough FTL to go. They want us to go to Lille's, which is this one. So we can do that by clicking this hyperdrive button and going there, or just pushing F is the shortcut key. So we get a nice little particle effect.
So, how long would you say one of these battles would take?
A
Do
battle
you
or a
even have
map?
any, or
A game.
a game? Do you have any
Depends on
idea?
the size of what you do.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but it's gonna be like Sens. It's
yeah,
hours.
yeah,
I mean, if you want to make it epic, it could go days if you wanted to,
yeah, yeah.
if you and your buddies are willing to do it. I love those epic ones that go on forever, but it's hard to do that with a group. That's fine to do as a single player, but yeah, that's really what I like though. I love the epic battles that just go on. But
Yeah.
so this is a little bit more of the story, and this is, I think, where they start to taper off on that. Essentially, our previous Commodore died, and we're putting him to rest. So now resources. Most planets in the galaxy contain the natural resources to produce a single particular type of resource in quantities large enough for a sustained export industry. Resources range from food and water to supercarbons and uranium to FTL crystals. Not every resource can be produced right away, and some resources require a higher level planet in order to produce. Expanding and developing. Every settled planet has a level, ranging from level 0 to level 5. Planet levels indicate the amount of infrastructure, population, and development a planet possesses, and higher level planets are better in many ways. In order to level up a planet, it requires access to more and more resources imported from different planets. For example, level 1 planets require food and water. When you export a resource, the original planet no longer has access to that resource for its own use. Because planets require resources from other planets to level up, not every planet can be high level powerhouse. It is important to carefully choose a planet. It's important to carefully choose which planets to send resources to, and which higher level resources to start producing. In our case, we want to level up Spacewood to level 2, and at first I was like, is that a resource? But no, it's the name of the planet,
Okay.
Spacewood.
I was gonna ask that too. Spacewood.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh god, when I first read that, I'm like, Jesus, you're coming up with Spacewood. What the fuck is this? Goober. I'm sorry. How long you got? Okay, it wasn't that long ago. I'm doing good, man. How about yourself? Um, So yeah. Anyways, in our case, we want to level up Spacewood to level 2 to gain extra income and population. To reach level 2, Spacewood requires a tier 1 resource, such as this native gold over here. Let's see, yeah, we can get it from here. Spacewood is right here. Who's that? Was that? Oh, SK. Okay. So yeah, this one here is Spacewood. That's where the gold is. So it's going to need gold and another food such as grain in order to get this up there. Select Spacewood, right click on the planet you wish to colonize, and choose colonize with Spacewood. So we're going to want to go on ahead and get colonize with Spacewood. And you can also just right click on a planet and just say colonize this, and it'll colonize with whatever planet. Now, in order to colonize, you basically need to have the population to do it. Right now, apparently, I've got some surplus population here because I've got 5 billion out of 3 billion. You can see right here, it's now going down to 4.9. So we're going to go on and start colonizing this one here too. That is right. Yeah, it's got the green. So I'm going to go and colonize that. And we'll go ahead and colonize that too. It looks like it'll finish colonizing this before it starts sending elsewhere. There we go. And we can just speed that up. Just so we can get a look at those colony ships. So yeah, colonizing works differently than you might be used to. You don't actually have to build colony ships. They just send these small ships a little at a time, and they just kind of stream them over there. So that's pretty cool. Now,
yeah, that is nice.
Now here's where it gets kind of weird, and it's hard to understand what's going on. Now, Spacewood, if we want to get it to level 2, let's take a look at this. It says, let's just go and minimize this. See, required for level 2, food, and a tier 1. That's what's left over. We already have water, so that's fine. The one thing that I didn't realize, it also, it produces food. So we have 1 food because it's producing food. So we have food and water. That's what got it to level 1 from level 0. We're bringing it actually, usually your starter planet always has water, and there's a few that'll have both, but it's really rare to have 2 resources produced on a single planet. It's only your starter that will have that food and water. And I don't know that that's true of all starter planets. But we need to bring in an additional food and a tier 1 resource. In order to send this tier 1, you actually can't do it as it's level 0. We're a level 0 on the gold planet, and it says it actually won't show you that. It's kind of cut off. There we go. Okay, you can read that now. Cannot use resource. Planet must be at level 1. So we actually have to level this up to level 1 before we can even send it. So we have to send food and water to this planet to be able to send the gold to the other planet. It's kind of funky how that works.
Dude, I'm listening, but with my connection, I can't even watch your stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I turned off all the download for Steam. I kept throttling it back, but I can hear what you're saying, so I can follow along. But I'm not actually able to see, just so you know.
That sucks. Well, I'm glad I'm narrating as best I can.
Yeah, I feel like I'm learning a good bit, at least how the game works.
Okay. So yeah, now it's saying we need to export the food resource to Spacewood. Alright, so we can go on and do that off of either of these. It doesn't really matter. You can also you can export by just grabbing one and dragging it to where you want it to go. You can also use the right-click menus, and there's a couple of other things. There's some little menus that'll pop up here on the top right, but that's kind of the easiest way to do it to start off with. So we're doing that. Great. Now, cue the export of Tier 1 resources to Spacewood by
You
left-clicking
joined your chamber.
and dragging the source to Spacewood. So we can do that. Hey, what's up, Andrew? How are you?
I'm good.
So we can see that actually put that there, but it's red. It's not going to work right now. And that's blue, so that's a good trade route. This one's queued, but it's not active. So we'll need to upgrade 2 planets. Each planet has a growing need for more resources of different tiers. Every planet requires a source of water, and each level requires an additional food. On top of these, higher levels have a need of a number of Tier 1 and Tier 2 resources. At any time, you can check what types of resources a planet will need to upgrade by selecting the planet and looking in the bottom left, or by double-clicking a planet to check the bottom left and check the bottom left panel. So right now we're looking at Spacewood, and we can see required for level 2 is the Tier 1. So that's what we're trying to get, this Tier 1 gold here. And you can see what we've got here is we've got meat, we've got water. It's got the gold being brought here, but it's got that red circle around it, which means it's not actually being brought. So it's queued, it's there. So it'll even show you stuff that's not really there. And then we got this grain. So that's what we got there. If we look at over here, we still need water and food. So we can bring ourselves the food. That'll take care of that. But now we need water. Now if we just click next, there we go. It's going to tell us what we need to do. Your new planet must reach level 1 to produce and export Tier 1 resource. To reach level 1 and use its resource, we must import a food and water from other planets. We brought in the food already. Resources can be exported anywhere within your empire border. Your trade border shows systems that will become tradable once colonized. Water is available near Odotak. So that was where we were at before. We have water. We just need to go on and colonize. So let's go ahead and get ourselves some water here. And these planets are rotating. You don't really see the rotation going on, but if you stop paying attention for a while, all of a sudden they're in different places. When you zoom out, it brings it up so it's easier to work with. And so they all kind of pop up like this in their corners. And if there's asteroids, like we can actually see there's asteroids here, they show up in the inner ring, and they all... at first it was kind of jarring, but I like what they've done. As soon as you zoom in, you see their actual position. And it doesn't have much bearing, sometimes the combat may make a difference there, but for the most part, if it's in the system, it's in the system, and that's all that matters. So we're getting that colonization going. And we're going to go on ahead and queue this up too, that we want to go on ahead and see. This is another way we can do it, is just click it, and then if we've selected the water planet, we right click the gold planet and select it to queue up the water. So as soon as this actually hits...
What level are you in Diablo 3?
like 65.
You're close.
Yep. Okay, so we're there. Yeah, we've actually finished main game this on Sunday, and let's go and pause this real quick.
You already beat the Act 5 boss?
No, we finished main game. Main game was Act 4. Act 5 was part of